All right, now we're ready for part two. Okay, so basically what I did is I went in and I used a script in Fallout 4 Edit. I'll bring this up just to show you what this is real quick. And I used a script to regenerate the complex sorting patch. And basically what that does, it scans these plugins here for certain record types and then modifies that data and then saves it back or allows you to save the changes back to a plugin, like a unique plugin or a plugin which it calls the Complex Sorter Patch plugin. It's the plugin which is right here. It's this plugin here. Okay, so it's pretty cool. I like it because, like I say, it looks for certain record types or might look for certain keywords. So anytime you add any like consumable or weapon, you can run this patch, and basically you just go over here to where it says apply script. I've already got it set up. You hit OK. And what it does, it will bring up. All right, let's see. It'll bring this up and allow you to do different types of configurations. So it's kind of cool in a way. It can provide, the resource, the armor, weapon, keyword, community resource. It can add compatibility to it. You can change whether cars can explode. I don't like that option. I mean, it's cool when I probably first played it. I'm like, okay, this is really cool. Um, but it's just I don't really care for it because it gets kind of lame after a while because your companion will literally can't even aim around a car because of the hitbox and the way they tried to improve their technique for improving FPS. So literally your companion will blow a car up right in front of your face. So not too cool, but all right. So anyways, so let's go ahead and take the next step here. So it generated this complex sorter patch. So now I can activate this. So now it's going to let me activate it. And I took these out. So basically, before I didn't have to generate the bashed patch, but I did generate the sorter patch. So to do this, I would take these out of the load order, and then I would generate my patches, and then I would put them back in. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and save this, and then let's do it. Now I don't know how this is gonna turn out, so this is kind of like on the fly here. All right, so let's take a look here at our manifest, and you can actually see where I went in and took out the bashed patch and took out the complex sorter patch, and then I took out the complex sorter patch. It took itself out. I took the mutant menagerie patch out, and then of course I put them back in. But you can also see up here where I've updated the Robco patcher. I've updated the patcher here, and then better locational damage, which is the Robco thing I updated. I'm switching over to the Caritas framework above to the treasures, but they're not really activated, so that's what you see here. So the only thing I have to really worry about is I did update the Robco thing, which is a DLL, and it gets loaded through Fallout Script Extender, and I need to make sure that that could cause a crash. But other than that, that was the only thing that I updated. So now we're going to fire the game off. All right, so let's go ahead and fire this game off. And when I load my current game, it should tell me that Zayton's is missing. It's not in the load order. So, and we'll go ahead and accept that. We'll just say, okay, yep, I know it's missing. And then we're going to let the engine try to deal with the data. So, some conditions, I think what Bethesda meant when they said it's more stable, they wanted to make sure your game save actually got saved, is they do some edits that they probably didn't do in the past, or some data checks to make sure that it won't crash. However, there is still some conditions in there where it does. All right, I'm going to turn this down. Let's turn this down some here. Okay. All right, so let's load our current game up. All right. See, Zayton's is missing. Yep, I know it. And let's see what happens. Now, this could crash. Hopefully it won't. I don't know why these dudes get so big like this. Like, somehow the whole scaling is messed up on it. Like, I have no idea. See, not only is it not centered, but the scaling is wrong. Now, that would concern me because that's a data issue. So either data is corrupted or somehow some conditionals existed when I removed the plugin and somehow the game engine isn't like jiving with that. Those are possibilities. Now, whether it's the fact that I removed it or the fact that it's something there. So now we have. So now let's take a look at our. Let's take a look at what happened. So we do have a crash. So let's see. This might not be able. This might be a mod that we might not be able to remove. So let's see here. Let's take a look. What crashed on us here? All right. It looks like. Okay, we got a virtual machine crash. So it definitely knows there's an object cell. So it looks like the virtual machine desynced, but then we also have a graphic thing. All right, so but that might be from the graphics card. So again, it's more than likely a data issue. All right, so let me see. All right, so let's give this a shot again. Let's load this up again, and let's see if we can get to another game save. Okay, so we do know that we changed the DLL. We know that we removed a mod. So it's definitely one of those calls, and we regenerated the sorter patch. So we know that data was changed. So it's definitely one of those that's causing the issue. Now I could easily say it's the fact you removed the mod that caused it, and that may be the case. Oftentimes there's probably something on the VM stack that might cause the problem. So let's back up to a one previous to that. Now I have a feeling this is going to crash left and right. So, and I have a feeling this is going to keep crashing out. Because usually when it pops right off the bat, it does. But we're going to back up and see if there's a game save that we can load that won't crash on us. Got my fingers crossed on this one, but I don't have high hopes.
Fatality.
Okay, this is definitely one it's not going to like removing, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same thing here. So let's go take a look and see what we have. All right, let's see what BuffOut says. All right, so we still got the same thing. Okay, all right. Now, I wonder if we're in an interior location. So let's see if we can... Now, the question would be, is Zayton's the issue? That's going to be real easy to figure out. We'll just simply put it back in, reload it, and see if that's the problem. Or if it was... Because what we need to do is we need to rule out... We have 3 changes. We got to rule this out. We removed a plugin. We changed a sorting data. Not sorting data, but we changed patching data. And then we changed the Robco patcher. So that may be what's doing the issue. So we're going to try this one more time with a different game save. We're going to keep backing up and get out of Sanctuary for one. And then we will go in, put it back in. Well, we will reactivate Zayton's and see if we can rule that out. So let's back up. Apparently Sanctuary it doesn't like. Here's Red Rocket. I don't think I have an interior location. You know what? Let's try... This is in the quarry. Alright, so let's try this. Like I said, I don't really have high hopes for this one. Now, maybe if I was in an interior location, and we'll try this, we'll try a different technique on another video to see if that is that is the possibility. Okay, so Sanctuary's the problem. All right, so what I want to do is I want to save this game back, right? And then let's reload it back up again. And then we're going to try, let's see if this crashes. And then we're going to try to go to Sanctuary. I don't remember if any Zaytans were in Sanctuary. Okay, so now we're back in the game. We're a few game saves back. Let's see if we can get to Sanctuary. Let's see if Sanctuary is going to be the problem, but we're not going to go there directly. Let's go to Red Rocket. Let's see if we can at least make it to Red Rocket. Now, I do know that the workbench does have alien weapons, or did, because I did kill some of the alien enemies, and they were in the workbench at Sanctuary, and that may be what's causing the problem. That may be why it crashed. Although the cell and the virtual desync, it could be the fact I removed the mods and there were scripts running, but we're going to take a look at that next. But let's just see if we can even get into Sanctuary. So we had just a couple crashes before, and now you can see that just by trying to take out a mod and load a game, we had at least 2. So we backed up to where we were out of it. So I'm thinking that because I put things in the workbench and I removed a mod and I'm in a settlement, that is where I stored the weapons in the workbench, in the Sanctuary workbench. That may be what caused the crash, because it loaded the workbench, tried to access everything. There's some invalid references in there. And virtual machine might mean there's something on the stack. So we can, okay, so good. We can get to here. So now we're here. We're going to save this again. All right, let's go back over to here. And let's go in and take a look at game saves real quick. And what I want to do is we're going to use Resaver on it. So let's see what the damage is. All right, let's hunt up our most current. Let's see. Let's refresh this real quick, and let's go up here and see what our damage is. So we're gonna want 57 here. Not that one. I don't think. No, it's probably gonna be this one. All right. So just to double check, let's make sure we got the right one. It looks like the right one. Okay, there is no Zayton in there, so that's been removed. Now let's do a resaver on it, and let's see what the damage is. Let's see what pops up. There should be some stuff here. Okay, now take a look here what we got. So we have 25 undefined threads and 11 unattached instances. So that one mod gave a serious hit to my game save. You can clearly see that. So let's see what we're dealing with. Unattached instances, there's a bunch of them. See, Frogger Follower, and these are all, let's see here. This is probably all data that's attached to the Zayton script. 'Cause I do know Frogger Follower, that he was in Concord. All right, so we've got this. So let's go in here and let's do a purify form list. Nothing bad was found. Now here's the trick with this. This may work, or this may make things worse. So we're going to remove unattached instances. It removed 11. Okay. So now let's save it back, and that should be our most recent save. Okay. So let's go back into the game, and let's load that game save back up. Now the odds are this is going to crash, but we're going to give it a shot. So we used Resaver. We didn't remove the undefined instances. I don't know, my instinct tells me this is going to crash. Or lock up, which is what it did. So this, fatality. There. Okay, so that's what I figured would happen. All right, so let's take a look and see what the problem is. So Zayton's is definitely one that does not like to be removed. And I don't believe I'm going to be able to get into this. Let's see. Yep. See, it's a bad reference. Okay. So, let's, this is going to be a long video, isn't it? Alright, so, I'm not giving up yet. So, by removing the undefined instances, if it removes the data, and not the scripts, and the scripts are running and can't find the data, that's going to crash. So here's what we're going to do. Let's go back in. Let's load the game back up. Let's get into Sanctuary, and let's see if the game can deal with its own virtual machine issues. So the odds are, from what I'm seeing, the game save will be corrupt. If it's not already corrupted, even minutely at this point, it could be at some point. Now, it is a possibility. I cannot say that for sure. All I can do is look at what's going on with it and say, okay, the game is trying to use my data, my save data, and it has destabilized something. So therefore, the odds of this being a valid or a usable game save in the future is not very high. So let's see if we can load back into Red Rocket. Now, I might not even be able to do this, even though I was in there. This was the one that we saved back, so let's try this one. Now, it might be possible, since it doesn't look like the game engine actually deletes any of its data, or let me rephrase that, it doesn't free all the data up before it loads a new cell or a new game. You have to exit out of the game, exit back in to clear everything out, and that might be something we can test as well. At least to try to get back into the game to see if the thing eventually stabilizes. Now, I don't think it will, because I'm not sure exactly what kind of scripts were patched across the universe, so to speak. Because usually when I remove mods, I've never had 11 instances and 20 some odd orphaned scripts. I've never had anything like that. I've never seen that before, unless it was updating something really big that had a lot of, like, was heavily like a mod that had a lot of scripts in it. All right, so what we're going to try to do is we're going to load Sanctuary flat out. Let's save this again. And let's just, you know what, we're going to run into Sanctuary. Now, this might crash, so I'm not really sure, but we're gonna give it a shot here. Let's save it again, at least from that point. And there should be no power corruption in here because nothing was changed. But I can at least see Sanctuary, and I'm not sure what's going to happen with the workbench. We're going to save this again. We're going to try something interesting here. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to load the game right back up that I saved. Let's see if this will even load, because sometimes you'll be in the game, you can play it, and then save your game, and then you try to load your game save. It actually causes a problem. And like I say, I believe I removed the references to the actual references to the, like, a script has variables. I removed those variable references, but I didn't remove the scripts, and that is what caused the crash. At least that's my kind of initial assessment by looking at it. I don't think the workbench is jacked. It could be. It may have added things directly to build mode or workshop mode. So let's go into that. Let's just go into it for the heck of it and look around a little bit. Just move around, navigate it some, just to see if I can get into the menus. All that's okay. Let's see, all the new stuff is there. Well, at least it appears to be there. Okay, so that's good. Let's exit out. I'm going to save this again. Let's go over to here, and let's refresh this, and let's see if that's cleaning itself up, or if it's still going to be a problem. I think it's still going to be a problem, because like I said, I've never had something like that happen that major. Yeah, see, so now we're at 12. And I think, let's see the elements here. See the active scripts. So, okay, that's interesting. So it looks like the script that's attached to it is from Better Locational Damage. Okay, so it's a Better Locational Damage script. Now, one thing I do want to check over here is I want to see, there's going to be a lot of errors here where I actually removed the mod, but that's not what I'm looking for. I want to see if this comes up quick. If this does not come up quick, then that means the Papyrus files are huge, and there's a lot of there's stacks getting truncated and all kinds. So, like things like that. So it's coming up okay. That looks fine. So I would say we're not getting a lot of those suspended stacks and a lot of those truncated stacks. Because if it drops off frames, that's definitely going to be a problem. All right. So I'm going to access the workbench, save it back, reload it, and okay. So we're here, right? Let's access the workbench. Okay. Let's now save it, and let's do a reload. Now, none of this stuff actually guarantees that any of this is actually going to work. This could still crash. But basically, whatever that data touched that I removed, I'm going back into it, and then I'm letting the game kind of figure out. I'm letting the programmers do whatever edits and things that they do when you access something, and then I'm saving the game back. Okay, so now we're going to try something drastic here. All right, so I know I'm here. It crashed here. I can load here just fine. So now let's try to resave this again. I'm pretty sure this is going to be bad news, but we're going to try this anyways. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to knock both these out. All right, the 25. So let's go in here and clean. And I'm pretty sure this is going to choke. Well, we don't want to do it like that. I'm pretty sure this is going to literally choke on itself. So we're going to remove that. And then we are going to remove that. Okay. Now, let's save it back. Yep, we're going to replace it. I have a feeling this is going to be bad news. All right. So, let's see if we, because I believe it would have renamed it here. Let's see. That's not the one we're looking for. Whoops. Can I close this? There we go. Yeah, that's not the one we're looking for. Let's mark this one. All right. This must be up at the top. All right, so let's try this. Let's go back in, and here we're going to load our game. So this is the one we redid, and I'm pretty sure this is going to lock up a crash right off the bat. So let's see what happens here. And this is part of the problem with removing mods. Okay, there's no way that works. So let's go back in. Let's see, because surely that did not work that easy. Let's see. Yeah, see that one. So there's a corrupted game save right there, or I believe it's still in. I believe there's our corrupted game save. All right, so okay, so there we go. See, it's got. All right, it looks like that game save is corrupted. So let's try this. Let's go in. Let's do a new save. All right. We're going to try some things here. All right. So let's load this back up. We got a new save here. All right. So let's try to use resaver on this. There. Okay. So after I saved it back and Bethesda does whatever it does to its data, it now gives me one attached and one undefined thread. So let's take a look and see what the undefined thread is. It's a workshop framework problem. Not a problem, but it's a workshop framework thing. And it looks like it is in an active script somewhere, maybe. Let's see. How about some undefined elements? Okay. It looks like it was in Workshop Framework. Now, this is more than likely an absolute possibility because the objects actually got the weapons from the Zetans actually was put in the workbench. So, Workshop Framework may or may not have attached an instance to it or a script to it. So, we're back in the game. Definitely had some crashes. We're back in. We were able to save and access certain parts of the game. I'm going to cut this video short, and then I'm going to get to the next video, and then we're actually going to try to play the game a little bit, look at some of the data, and see if we might be stable enough to continue playing.